These Chicago Sky content creators, all they do is make content about the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. Why? Because they can't get no numbers talking about the Sky. Let's get that clear. We got all the Angel Reese Chicago Sky haters. All haters. We got to really take into consideration who's saying that the Indiana Fever are better without Caitlin Clark.
Why are fans and analysts insisting the Indiana Fever is better without their rookie star, Caitlin Clark? Is this a legitimate claim, or is the media just stirring the pot? Stick around as we break down the truth behind Clark's impact on the team, and why the critics might secretly be terrified of her return. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. So here's what people are saying: the Fever are better off without Caitlin Clark. Seriously? That's the buzz right now, all because they picked up a couple of wins while she was sidelined. But have you actually looked at what's happening on the court? The numbers tell a way different story, a story that completely flips this narrative on its head. Let's start with those proof games. The Fever had a few solid performances without Clark, sure, but notice what fans are focusing on.
The haters are out there everywhere. Oh, the Indiana Fever, they're better without Caitlin Clark. There's a difference. Caitlin Clark takes this team to a whole nother level.
They're highlighting games where the team shared the ball more and limited turnovers, giving this illusion that Clark's absence suddenly made them a powerhouse. Take one of their recent wins as an example. Better ball movement, a defensive spark, and everyone chipping in. Sounds great on paper, right? But dig just a little deeper and you'll see how misleading that is. The teams they beat? Not exactly top-tier competition.
Oh no, Ari McDonald is better than Caitlin Clark. Oh no, Stephanie White's the best coach in the league. This team is not as bad as they were before without Caitlin Clark. There's a difference.
And when you zoom out and look at the Fever's entire season, their struggles without Clark are crystal clear. She's their game changer, pure and simple. Here's what gets overlooked when Clark isn't on the floor. Defenses barely have to adjust. They're not scrambling to block her insane three-point range or deal with the mismatches she creates by drawing double teams. That attention she commands isn't just for show either. It opens up space for her teammates to operate, whether that's shooters finding clean looks or post players getting easy buckets. Even when she's not putting up big points, she's tearing apart defenses by just being there. Without her, opponents get way more comfortable, and that's reflected in how the Fever's offensive efficiency dips. The WNBA stats back this up too. With Clark on the floor,
Out of here. I see what y'all doing. The funny thing is, we knew y'all was gonna do this. This Fever team is better than the last Fever team was without Caitlin Clark. That's all that is.
the Fever's offensive spacing improves dramatically, giving them more options and forcing opponents into bad switches. And when she's not playing, those same stats show a team that's struggling to maintain consistency. Clark's ability to influence the game isn't just about her scoring. It's about her making everyone better. At the end of the day, this better without Clark stuff, it's cherry-picking at its finest. But here's the real question: who's actually pushing this debate, and why are so many people jumping in to tear her down? Let's talk about why it feels like Caitlin Clark has suddenly become a punching bag for the media and some fans. A lot of this controversy goes deeper than basketball, and you've probably noticed how certain narratives seem to gain extra momentum when it comes to Clark. Media outlets like ESPN have been amplifying this better without Clark idea, and not because it's true, but because it stirs the pot.
We knew y'all was gonna do this. Saying the Indiana Fever are better without Caitlin Clark is a flat-out joke, and you're just a flat-out hater. And a Fever team improving? Yes. Is this Indiana team better than they are with Caitlin Clark? No. Stop it. Caitlin Clark is probably the second best, if not the best player in the league.
Controversy sells, and narratives like this boost engagement. It's all part of the hype machine, even if it comes at the expense of a player's reputation. But here's the kicker. Clark's presence in the WNBA isn't just big, it's undeniable. Her games pull sellout crowds, and she's bringing prime-time visibility to a team that desperately needed it. She's turning heads and elevating the Indiana Fever in a way that goes beyond wins and losses. Yet instead of celebrating this impact, critics focus on how she doesn't fit into whatever convenient storyline they're building. It's almost like the game-changing rookie is being framed as a problem just because she doesn't stick to the script. Then there's the rivalry angle. Angel Reese fans have latched onto Clark's brief absence, using it to fuel claims that she's overrated or less valuable than other rookies. Social media has turned into a battlefield, with comparisons and criticisms flying left and right. Some are even bringing up things like player polls where Clark ranked 9th when most expected her to be near the top.
These Chicago Sky content creators, all they do is make content about the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. Why? Because they can't get no numbers talking about the Sky. Let's get that clear. We got all the Angel Reese Chicago Sky haters. All haters. We got to really take into consideration who's saying that the Indiana Fever are better without Caitlin Clark.
And let's not forget how the same voices pushing Reese as Rookie of the Year are now jumping on this better without Clark bandwagon. If it sounds like a jealousy parade, that's because it kind of is. The cultural element here is impossible to ignore. Clark's success puts her under a magnifying glass, and for some, it's easier to criticize than to admit they were wrong. She's been called everything from overexposed to a glitch in the matrix. Essentially, her visibility forces people to confront uncomfortable truths about how rookies, especially ones making waves, are treated in sports. This isn't just about Clark. It's about how polarizing media coverage tears down the very players pushing the league forward. Caitlin Clark isn't just putting up numbers, she's changing everything for the Fever and the entire WNBA. Since her arrival, games are selling out, the team's on national TV, and the Fever finally matter in a league that often struggles for attention. Critics calling her overrated? They're ignoring how she's made the Fever a talking point for the first time in years. ESPN's added stories about her non-stop because Clark doesn't just play, she drives engagement like no rookie has. When she returns, the Fever will only get better, and it's about time people stopped doubting the impact of true greatness.